Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. On today's show, we're going to be talking about interactions with inmates, cabana boy opportunities, now hiring, right? And so much more. Steve here, my co-host for today, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Great to be here, guys.
And we're joined with two guests in studio. We've got former Detention Sergeant Justin Patrick. Hello, Justin.
How you doing?
Also known as JP. And we've got Deputy Sheriff Andrew Leonard. So welcome, gentlemen. And we're going to refer to Andrew as
AJ, not AL. So
AL. The J is silent.
Yeah, the J is silent.
That's right.
Like a jalapeno.
Jalapeno's not silent, Curtis.
Oh, well, there's no J. It's not a jalapeno.
Depending on from which part of the state you're
Yes,
in.
there you go.
Okay. Well, I wasn't even referring to the pronunciation. I was referring to I've never eaten a silent jalapeno. So,
No, it's not silent later. I promise you that.
No.
no, yeah.
Especially them orange ones.
Woo. Yeah, give that about 12 hours and see if it's still silent. Okay. Anything new going on?
Same old here, man.
Same old. Nothing new out of the Fort Worth side of things?
No, we're keeping it quiet, man. It's summertime. It's definitely picked up, though. I mean, our shootings, stuff like that. But no, it's business as usual.
Well, for kids, it's hard to find something fun to do in the summertime when you're out of school. So
Yeah, I mean, if you can't shoot houses up, what can you do?
I mean, yeah, during the school, you're stuck in class all day long. You don't have the free time to get out there and really,
Steal the guns?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I heard cocaine's a hell of a drug, so.
Yeah, I heard it smells funny.
Okay. Yeah, no, we oh, where were we? Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, let's get back to Cabana Boys. That's even better.
Okay. Now, JP, you're a former detention sergeant, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you worked at a sheriff's office, right?
I did.
Yeah. What department?
Collin County Sheriff's Office.
And how long were you there?
Right at 9.5 years.
Okay. No longer doing the job.
Nope.
No, and you were a detention sergeant, so you're in charge of inmate care and those that care for the inmates.
Yes, but more specifically, I was a booking sergeant. So when you first get arrested, so intake and release.
Oh.
Okay.
Book
So-
piano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So fresh off the streets, coming in under the influence, all those good things.
Still riled up.
That's where all the fun stuff happens.
Right.
Mhm.
And I actually started. I've mentioned on the show before. I started I started working in law enforcement for the Gregg County Sheriff's Office, out in Longview, out in East Texas. And yes, I worked in booking also. And elevator doors would open up. You never knew what was gonna happen. The elevator doors open up. You got an officer in a full blown, all out fight with somebody in there, and it's 0 to 60 and nothing flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the greatest memories I've got.
There you go.
It's the worst kind of box of chocolates, though. You never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get.
Sometimes you're not
Some of
sure
them-
if that's actually chocolate on them.
Yep, that's that
exactly.
too. That too.
Literally what I was going to say.
Oh, now AJ, you are currently a deputy.
Yes, sir.
Same agency, right?
Correct. Collin County.
Collin County. How long have you worked there?
It'll be 8 years this December.
Okay, started off in the jail like most folks at the SO.
You know it.
Okay, and you guys said you had a story about how you first met each other.
Oh yeah, we could not stand each other.
Hated him.
It tells. Yeah, I can see it.
Curtis and I are starting to relate to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy, he's nuts.
I'll let AJ tell the story because he tells it just so much better than I do.
Is he nicer about it versus your version?
He's a better storyteller than I am,
okay.
and he just tells this one story just on the money.
Okay, kids, gather around.
Yeah. Gather around the campfire and listen to Grandpa's stories. Definitely the dad of the group right here, so it kind of helps.
It's all you, AJ.
So, you have to be licensed in the state to do corrections, peace officer, pretty much anything of a professional nature. So the jail licensing course is where we first met. It's only like a 4-week-long class, or 4-week-long class, and the last week of the licensing class is direct supervision. Basically, the core principles of being a jailer. Right, this is where you learn this class. Well, he had been there long enough, brand new. I'm probably only 4 or 5 months in, 3 months off of training. Still don't know anything. It's where we meet. He had been there long enough that they decided to send him back through direct supervision.
Actually, I got tired of working for a while, so I volunteered to go to this class just so I could have some time off.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
But also, because of our interaction, it told me you probably needed to be there.
Yeah, because I forgot half the stuff we were taught.
We were talking about this on the way over here. One of the things that they teach you in direct supervision is the 9 principles of direct supervision. It is the way that we run our jail. They teach you the 9 principles that you need to remember always to be able to do the job and not forget what we're doing here and why we're doing it. And so the teacher at the time, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Pond, but knowing that he had been here, it was Pond. Yeah. Knowing that he had been here for quite some time, looked at him and said, Justin, why don't you tell us the 9 principles of direct supervision, hoping that he was going to be able to
recite those
exactly verbatim from the heart.
Not a chance.
Mhm.
I got like 4 of them.
Dude, nothing like throwing you under the bus and putting you on the spot like that.
I just wanted a break, and you got to call me out.
And what are the most important 4?
Yeah.
Real quick, though, just so people who are listening understand what direct supervision is, there are 3 types of jails. You have direct supervision, which means you're in a pod with the inmates. You have linear, which is what you see in the movies with the bars, and you walk down the hallway. And then you have indirect, which is you have the pods. However, the officer is in a bubble watching over the pod. So when we're talking about direct supervision, people understand why we're naming it direct supervision.
So you guys are in there in the pods.
Yeah.
Okay.
If riot happens, they close that door and we're locked in there with them.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Okay.
It's actually one of the safest styles of jails that you can think of.
Really?
The most we've had is what a couple. What's it called? Not a riot, but
Skirmishes.
no rebellion.
Oh, rebellion.
That gets squashed real quick, but
A rebellion. Star Wars term.
just for clarification.
That was what we call a golden retriever moment on Justin Patrick's part. So Pond looks at him and says, why don't you give me the 9 principles of direct supervision? This is when I look over and I look at him and I look at him and say, man, this guy is a wannabe cop. He's laid back, undervest, belt on, gun, shades in the epaulette. But I know he's a detention officer, and I'm like, I hate him. I instantly hate him. You got this wannabe that's been over here for X amount of years and can't name these simple principles. Look at this idiot, right?
So on my end,
Wow.
I see him.
Wow. Should we have brought a counselor on today?
I think we put them on opposite ends. I didn't realize that we got it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
He told me this was going to be a counseling session. Am I in the wrong place?
Oh
no, you definitely when you get billed, you'll know.
Okay, great.
Okay, go ahead, my son. Tell us about your mother.
So coming from me, I'm looking at him, and I've already heard about him, right? I'm like, oh, this dude's arrogant. He just knows it all. So we're doing everything, and he's loud, to me going over the top. And I'm like, I can't stand this dude. And then
God,
class gets done, and what is it? 2 months later, you transfer to bookend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then what was it that we were like, you're kind of cool.
I can't remember what actually brought us together that singularity point in time that was like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
We each had one of those moments. I think for me, it was when you took 6 out of a 12-hour shift to try to identify one guy that was not identifying in the jail, using fingerprints, calling the state, checking FBI's and SID numbers.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, this guy actually cares. He did the job the way that it was supposed to be done and was able to get this guy identified by going the extra mile. And I was like, you know what? He's cool with me. Still might be a little bit of a dick, but he's good with me.
Not might be. I am at the right opportunity.
Right. Well, for me and Steve, it's when we stacked our bunk beds together. So
It's more room for activities. Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta love Step Brothers.
okay. So you developed some respect for him at that point in time. Could he recite those 9 principles then? I mean,
Absolutely. I couldn't even remember one.
I don't know any of them. I mean,
I think maybe one. It was what, competent staff.
Mm-hmm. We tried this on the in the truck on the way over here.
Yeah.
He didn't do any better than on day number 1. So
Actually, I probably did worse.
well, now he's not getting paid to do it. So.
no.
yeah. Now you can erase it from your memory.
I did.
Now you guys I mean, obviously, you just let out that you guys work together in the jail. So, I know a lot happens in the jail. We talked about booking just a minute ago, and yes, before someone goes to the streets, it's very beneficial if they do work in the jail.
I think it should be a requirement.
And there's many people that share that. I would not disagree with you, because even when I was in the county jail, I mean, we classified our offenders. You got your maximum, your medium, and your minimum. And I worked bookend and maximum offenders. And you're in a tank with 8 guys that are in there, and they're all in there for murder. And you're in there with your handcuffs and a little can of pepper spray. You got to learn to talk to people.
Yeah.
You got to learn to communicate.
Actually, the pod officers don't even get pepper spray.
Ooh.
If something pops off, the responding officers, who are only certified to carry the pepper spray, can retrieve it from the cluster.
And for how big Collin County is, it's not 1 officer to 8. It's more like 1 to 72.
Well, state law speaking, it's 42 to 1, but the way the pod is worked out, it's essentially 72 to 1.
Okay. Yeah. I hope we weren't revealing any secrets here.
Oh, no.
No, this is state.
It's all approved by the
state
state.
mandate.
All right. Yeah. The jail standards, right?
Correct.
Oh, God.
Very good.
I would hope I'd know that, because I'm also a TCOL instructor.
Oh, very good.
So I taught people how to be detention officers.
How to detent?
Yeah, specifically, I specialize in bookend. So
Okay. Yeah. No, I enjoyed bookend. I had one guy. This is kind of a sad deal, but he was an adult, and he was a older teen, and had his girlfriend who was a juvenile. And he was driving around to convenience stores, and unfortunately she was robbing the stores, and she was, she took the lives of all the clerks where they were at.
Oh, wow.
And he got busted, and he came in, and I was actually doing his fingerprints, and he's like, they can't do anything to me. I didn't do anything. And I just looked at him, smiled, and said, "You've got no idea."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah."
That's called accessory.
It's like, yeah, this isn't going to work out well for you, buddy. But yeah, I learned so much. Again, going back to working in a jail before you hit the streets. I mean, how you learn to communicate with people, that's the biggest part of being in law enforcement, being an officer, especially on the streets, is communication.
Well, communication, it teaches you how to, respect people who aren't cops. Get that,
Mental.
I'm Mr. Police Officer out of your head.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can't
And-
be a robot out there.
Well, it also teaches you how to take control in controlled chaos,
Yeah. And,
because out on the street, it's not controlled.
well, and even whenever I was training new officers, if I had an officer in the first phase, I loved when we do our first traffic stop, because they go up there, "Hello, my name is," I mean, it's great. It's like a robot. I always go up there and grab them by their back belt loop. Hey, come here a minute. That's a human you're talking to, man. Just relax, be on guard, expect the worst, but talk to them like anybody else. And that's, yeah, I mean, you got to get that experience.
7-step violator on paper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, talking about communication and related to you guys both meeting each other, well, I guess technically they met in jail.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Back in the day when y'all were in jail together.
Yeah.
You guys
Got
communicated.
the prison tats to prove it.
We don't need to see those.
That's where the cabana boy comes in.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll get to that one later. But you guys communicated with a lot of inmates in there. Any stories of your interactions with inmates?
Too many to count.
Too many to count. Well,
Jump right in.
Let's hear some.
The best part of interacting with inmates, I think, is being able to find the ones that know they messed up, and you can have a true, honest conversation about why they're here, and make a difference in somebody's life. I remember having a conversation with a young mother that was on her like 3rd DWI, and she just wasn't getting the picture. She wasn't getting the picture until it was to the point where she was getting her child taken away from her. And you could see that just by pulling her aside, because now that you've seen her for the 3rd time, like you've been in jail, she's come in 3 times for the same thing, right? You can finally have a conversation with her that is meaningful to her life and get her to change around, make a change, do everything that she needs to do that the courts have told her she needs to do for her offense, win her daughter back, and live a healthier life. And being able to see that inmate, a year and a half later on the street, not expecting it, and get that story from her, that the conversation that you had with her, treating her like a human being that third time, was what she needed to be able to straighten things out and, set down the booze and get her child back and live a better life. So having those kinds of conversations with inmates is probably the best part of the communication.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry.
I don't know. I feel I mean, have you thought about going into counseling? And not like your own counseling, actually being a counselor.
I don't know if I'm going to want to do that after this job.
Yeah,
we do enough of it out on the streets that I'm probably like, no, thank you.
Well, and that's what we all joke about. I mean, you're expected to go out, enforce the law, handle any kind of situation, and then yet you're still a counselor to people, and you got to be a parent to kids out there. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that you do. But anything funny happened in the jail?
Well,
you guys always hesitate here. I mean, it makes me nervous.
Well, so we had this guy. He was tweaking hard, but he kept laying on the floor. Well, in booking, you can't lay on the floor, right? One, you don't want to lay on the floor because God knows what's in that.
Can you imagine?
So I noticed he's disappeared, and I'm a sergeant at this point.
Wait. Okay, so you got a guy in the booking area, and he's disappeared?
Okay, so the way our booking is, it's not like sealed off. You can just sprint out of booking, or at least when I was there, and just run around in the jail. And I've had a couple foot pursuits in the jail.
In the jail.
Yeah, and
start me cover on me.
People are surprised on how fast I am. But he's not. I can't find him. So I go looking around. He's not under the chairs. I go to the shower house and all that. I can't find him. I hear a pah. Walk out to the open waiting male restroom. Open the door, and I look down, and in the restroom, it's just a singular toilet, but on the wall is this panel that goes to, I guess, water pipes and everything. He had busted that out, and he's trying to crawl up the wall, and I grab him by his feet, and I pull him out, and all you hear him go, ah! And my staff come running, right? And he's like kicking me and stuff, but he's screaming bloody murder. And
I forgot about that story.
Yeah. And I was like, if you don't stop, you're getting it, right? And I was known. Like, I stopped fighting people. If you fight me, you're getting a face full of pepper.
Oh, okay.
And I stuck that pepper in his face, and he goes, okay. I'm chilling. Right. As soon as we get him in the handcuffs, he like tries to kick off again. We put him on the restraint bed. It took him about 5 minutes before he's crying, pleading to get off.
So he's not even been booked into jail yet, but he's already planned his escape.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And you do have to plan ahead.
It's a go-getter right there.
Wow. Yeah. Nothing like planning your escape before you're actually booked in. You said you hit him with a dose of pepper spray.
Oh,
right?
no, I threatened it.
You threatened it, but you didn't have to deploy.
No. And that's what I was known for, actually. So I'll stop fighting. Okay, I'd sit at my desk, and if I heard some inmate get loud, I just pull my drawer open and pop that can of pepper on, and my staff knew, take care of it, or I'm spraying his ass.
Hit him with the jalapeno with the silent J, right? Oh yeah.
This is Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. Check us out online at offbeatcopshow.com.
Let's welcome Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the studio. Their number is 833 Cook DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. What's happening, Daniel?
It's hot, man. It's hot. And I tell you, there's a lot of stuff still going on. So we're pressing forward.
It is really hot outside. So hence the reason I'm inside right now. Well, Daniel, you guys there at Cook DFW, you often have promotions. You guys have any current promotions going on?
Yeah, Steve, we try to have promotions consistently that change, with the time of the year and what's popular or what people would get the best benefit out of. And currently our promotion that we're running is clients that give us a call. They ask us to come out. We go over their needs. And if they choose to have a roof replaced with us currently in the month of June, we are actually upgrading them complimentary to a Class 4 hail impact resistant shingle. And so that will save them on their insurance premiums. It'll give them better protection for their home. Just several benefits, and they come in a nice selection of colors. They are a totally different kind of shingle, and we just want to try to give our clients a little bit more. And so a lot of people wait until after springtime to get their roofs replaced, but they may have had damage now for 3 or 4 months. And since people are now starting to call in, we're just offering this as a promotion to give them a better quality roof.
Now, if you are in need of a new roof repair, remodeling, or restoration, give Daniel a call at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. The number is 833-COOK DFW. Again, that's 833-COOK DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask about their free first responder upgrade.
Hi, this is Joanne Jackson. My husband, Dallas Police Officer Brian Jackson, gave his life serving the city of Dallas in 2005. The RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation supports the families of Dallas and Fort Worth area police officers and firefighters who have selflessly fallen in the line of duty. To donate, please visit offbeatcopshow.com or treehouseonair.com and click on the link.
And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford, co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Great to be here.
And we're joined with two guests in the studio today. We've got former Detention Sergeant Justin Patrick, a.k.a. JP.
Thanks for having me on.
And we have Deputy Sheriff Andrew Leonard, a.k.a.
AJ.
A Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Hey,
Yeah.
how are y'all?
All right. Now, this segment sponsored by our good friends at Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. All right, guys.
So real quick, since y'all got to tell these jail stories, I'm gonna jump in with a quick one here because I didn't get to geek out like y'all did with the whole jail intake. I didn't understand a lot of it, but well, all we have is a holding area getting ready to send to jail for Fort Worth. It was usually ran by a jail, or now it's ran by Tarrant County. So when we were walking up to the jail to turn them in, they would do all this little last ditch efforts, trying to get out of something. So I want to kill myself. And so I would turn to them and I would say, hell, I would give them a very stern conversation. This is not something you take lightly. If you are wanting to hurt yourself, you need to make sure that the guy in there knows as soon as you walk in. And so as soon as we walk in, they go, I want to kill myself or hurt myself. They go, whew, they'd be butt naked, hauled off in a chair. I was like, see you later. Bye. So after that, I was like, I guarantee they've never said that in jail after that.
There are some trigger words that you
I was like, make sure he knows. Make sure he knows.
Even if they were joking.
Absolutely.
Get the smock.
Absolutely. Make them learn a lesson.
Yeah, they get. We had like a padded suit that strap around on them, then they go inside a padded cell.
Yeah,
theirs was just like a chair. They were naked in a chair with straps on them, man.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like you're moving a refrigerator.
Yeah, we called it the turtle suit.
There you go. See,
if we arrested someone and they were, an APAL, if you will, the APAL arrest, where we determined that they're a danger to themselves or others, and they needed to get mental treatment and get a mental evaluation. We used to take them down to the old Parkland in Dallas, and you would just roll up there. You go inside with them, and if they started acting crazy or anything like that, you'd have just all the medical district police there just come in, snatch them up, and hold them down. And doctor comes in with a big syringe, boom, right in the butt. And game over.
there you go.
But it was nice because they, as an arresting officer, whenever I'd walk in there, they would just grab them from me and they go handle it. And be like, all right. So guess you guys have been waiting for me to get here, because I think that was their highlight. They had a lot of fun with that.
I bet.
Oh no, you guys had some more stories. AJ, you had mentioned one in regards to forgetting evidence.
Yeah, so I've been out on the streets this is the start of my second year now from being in the jail for 5.5 years. And So, still working on all of those crazy stories that happen through the course of a law enforcement officer's career. But
Yeah, they're coming.
yeah, the first one that I've got is, you never want to forget the evidence that you have to put somebody in jail.
So it's a traffic stop?
It was
Start from the beginning.
it was a suspicious vehicle call, back of a subdivision that was still being built. No lights, car sitting there, obviously shouldn't be. Suspicious person, place, times, that whole thing. And one of my deputy counterparts checked out on it. Suspicious activity going on inside the car. Sees some, some stuff in plain sight. Pulls him out of the car. Searches the car. Finds 9 grams of meth, along with a pistol and some other things. So
that's a good pop.
That's a damn good one.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. He also had a full half empty bottle, or half full, whichever way you think about it, of Jack Daniels too. So all the way around, there was not some good stuff going on there. And so, we do everything we need to do, take pictures, gather collect the evidence. And my partner starts going off to jail. Well, I go on about my business, and about 10 minutes before he's supposed to be at the jail, he comes over the radio and says, "Give me a call." So I call him, and he goes, "Hey man, where's the meth?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I packed it all up for you and I handed it to you. That was the last thing I did." He was like, "Well, yeah, I know, but I can't find it." I said, "What do you mean you can't find the meth? It's 9 grams of meth and a pipe. Like, how do you lose that?" And so I was like, "All right, well, I'll go back and check to see." I was like, "Did you take it off of the hood after I gave it to you? Because I know you said it there." And I even looked at you and said, "Make sure you don't forget your evidence." And he said, "Oh, I got it. So I was like, "All right, well, you take that guy to jail and I'll go back and see if maybe it's in the street somewhere." Sure enough, right where he turned the car, it slid off the hood. And so there's a pipe and 9 grams of meth laying on the concrete. Well,
A couple of kids playing with it.
fortunately not at 2:30 at night. So that was,
There goes our chain of custody, but
Yeah,
okay, we got this.
yeah, exactly. So, I didn't tell him that I found it.
There we go. There we go.
and
Make him pay for it a little bit.
It's a 30,
And so it begins.
it was like a 25-minute drive to the jail. So he's in the jail and doesn't have cell service. So the only way that I can reach him is on the radio, but I'm not going to, throw him under the bus and tell him
We found the meth,
correct,
boys.
right? So I just drive to the jail. Well, as I'm pulling into the Sallyport, he calls me on the radio. As the Sallyport doors open, I see him ass deep in the back end of the car, gear pulled out, drawers pulled open, and my lieutenant standing there watching him. And he's sweating. He's
I bet.
sweating trying to find this stuff. And I pull up with this smile on my face and roll down the window. And he's like, "Man, I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. It was in the car. I promise you it was in the car." And I just raise my hand like this and show him the 9 grams of meth that he pulled off this guy. And he's just the look of relief on his face. Oh. But then I look to my left, and there's my lieutenant standing there, and he's looking at me, and he's shaking his head like this.
That would have been like steak dinner worthy right there, my friend. Next shift.
Yeah.
That's probably the funniest story that I have up to this point.
Yeah, because whenever you got dope and guns together, and I mean, usually, well, a lot of times the feds pick up those cases.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, absolutely.
But if all you've got's a gun,
Right.
no dope, you just change your case. Yeah, that's nobody likes to do that. I mean, I've taken pictures before with, we used to be issued cameras that they would hang in our squad cars, and if you're somewhere you need to take photos of something, you'd take the pictures, then you have to go back to the station, upload them in the evidence room. And I took someone to jail one night, and I turned around and go get my camera out of the car to go lock in my photos. Nope, the camera's not in my car. By then you start sweating it, and anyways, I retraced my steps back to the location.
Sounds horrible.
I found my camera laying in the middle of an intersection, and nobody had run over it. It was great.
Yeah, it's horrible, man.
But
Didn't have a camera on your phone.
that was before those days.
That was back when you called him in on payphones. Tom 911.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, you talk about adrenaline.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you can't
pumping.
find something like that fear factor comes in. You're like, I just screwed up.
I'm
Big
getting
time.
fired.
Yeah.
At least a few days off without pay.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know it's headed your way. Oh, now, JP, you mentioned a term to me I wasn't familiar with. You talked about commitment, and I've never been really.
Commitment throws you off?
Yeah, I've never been familiar with that term.
Okay. Okay. That's why you don't wear a ring.
Oh wow, this one.
Oh, no, that's right.
Okay, yeah. Now, so you mentioned the term commitment, and apparently that's a term you guys use in jail.
Yeah.
Educate us on this.
Well, commitment's just another way of going to jail, but not going to jail. So, you get arrested for XYZ, go to court. Hey, instead of going to prison or spending 6 months in jail, you're going to do 3 months of a commitment. And what they do is either 72 hours or 3 days on the weekends. And it starts Friday and it ends on Sunday.
So that's not totally unlike a work release program.
It's essentially the same thing.
Oh, yeah, like almost reverse. You're like,
Yeah.
It's a weekender program. They allow people to go to work, live their normal lives, and just serve out their 30-day sentence 3
On the
days at a
weekend.
time.
that's
on the
almost
weekends.
crazy to me. It was like, listen to me, we're taking your next 41 weekends. I'm like, okay. I mean, you can have them. Yeah, I mean,
But I get out.
When I get out Monday morning just in time to go to work. That's hell.
No,
Oh wow, that's worse than just keeping.
Yeah, it's
this-
like
Oh,
you
okay.
get no fun, but laying in a cell for 3 days, and then you go right back to work on Monday morning.
Well, the work release program is even worse than that because they literally let you out at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and then you come back when you're done with work.
Yeah, see, I
So-
call that a marriage.
Yeah, it can always get worse.
Yeah, my wife wakes me up every morning. Go, get out there,
get
make
out.
money, be back by 4.
Right.
I didn't realize I was on a work release.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, sweetheart.
well, the crazy part is a regular 3-day commitment is not 3 days.
Oh, really?
If you turn yourself in at 11:59 on Friday night, right, at 12:01 Saturday night, that is in the state's eyes 3 days. You did 24 hours and got credit for 3 days,
Okay.
and that's what we would do, unless it's specifically stated 72 hours. Well, I had this guy one time. He came in. He had to do his last day, literally process in, wait a few hours to get everybody else processed out, and we were going to release him. Right?
This guy's an idiot.
I bring him in, and everybody that comes in has to get patted down. Well, I go to pat him down, and I get up right up to his crotch, and his balls crunch. I said, "Hey, man."
That's not right.
He goes, "Oh,
I'm
it's
not
my-"
a doctor.
He goes, "That's my underwear." And I was like, "You haven't changed your underwear in how long?" I said, "I'm going to pat you down again, and you're going to be honest with me because that doesn't feel like nuts to me. I have a pair, and it doesn't feel like that." And he goes, "I
He's a
swear to
nut
God."
expert, guys. He's a nut expert. He's trained. He's trained.
So he goes, "I swear to God, it's my underwear." I said, "If I stick my hand down the back of your pants and I feel something other than your ball sack," I said, "we're going to have problems." He goes, "Dude, it's..." So I pulled his pants back. I said, "Last chance." He's like, it's my underwear." And I stuck my hand down there and grabbed what I thought was his testicles, and I pulled real hard because I knew it wasn't. As soon as I thought it was, I was going to grab his testicles, but it wasn't. He had a bag of about 30 Xanax bars. I said, "You dumb ass." He goes, "What?" I said, "You just caught another felony." He goes, "What?" I said, "This is a
Bringing it
narcotic,
up.
dude." I said, "You just caught a charge. Another one. You're not going home."
We saw him for how many weekends after that too?
At least a year.
Yeah.
So he was almost done.
Oh yeah.
It was his last few hours.
Yeah.
Should have brought your nuts instead of your dope.
Yeah, he didn't realize he had a nut expert
He was
there.
like, "It's my medication." I was like, you take 30 Xanax in a couple of hours?
Good
No.
Personal
night.
use.
Good night.
Yeah, I keep mine in a bottle.
Yeah.
You keep yours in your underwear.
I keep mine in my ball sack.
Okay,
It's
I
a
do-
commonplace. Keeps them warm.
I just had something pop into my head and I forgot about this one.
All right.
okay,
roll
go
with
ahead.
it.
Roll with it.
McKinney PD brought a guy in that was arrested on drugs. And when they were patting him down, they felt something in the crack of his butt. And they asked us to do a strip search, right? And as the sergeant, it is my responsibility to approve or disprove,
Mhm.
right? And oh my God, I got to tell this one here in a minute too because it reminded me of a DPS one. So I was like, all right, cool.
Keep going.
So we go do this strip search, and I said, "Hey, squat and cough," and I was like, "Hey, what is that hanging out of your butthole?" And he goes,
Prison wallet. Go ahead.
"Yeah." He goes,
The male version.
"It's not drugs." And I was like,
Hold on. Swallow, Steve. Okay.
It wasn't drugs.
Yeah, that's my first thought too when somebody asked me that question.
Yeah.
Well, it's not drugs.
Right.
Oh, thank God. It makes
It
me feel so
really
much better.
wasn't his drugs.
What was it?
He had a hernia, so he stuck his hand back there and was like, and he did that sound and everything. He was playing with it. And I was like, put your clothes back on, dude.
Oh my gosh. You asked him to cough.
I was like, what's sticking out of your butthole, dude? And he goes, it's my intestines.
You're butt shaming this dude, man. He's like, it's a medical condition, and you're butt shaming this poor guy.
Well, he had a lot of dope on him. I figured he had something in his butt.
It's like, put the starfish away.
The amount of times I found
This
something
is
in
jail.
somebody's
No
butt
HIPAA
is-
violations here.
I didn't know to search him or get him a doctor.
Right.
This show's got very.
I would say, never mind. I ain't going to go there either.
no,
Oh.
wow.
Mm.
Okay. And you said that you had another one from DPS?
Yeah, so DPS apparently thinks people are cars. So DPS rolls up and I'm upstairs doing something, and he asked my guys to I'm gonna say his name because this is our buddy. He passed away from cancer, but he was silly, but
Oh.
one of the best dudes. Venable and my other buddy, he's not there anymore. I'll say it, Fonby. Great guys. They messed up, but did the right thing at the same time. DPS rolls in with this dude, and they're like, hey, I want a strip search. Well, they couldn't find me. Didn't use the radio to see where I was at. They just couldn't find me. So I come downstairs. I'm like, hey, where are these guys at? Oh, they're doing a strip search. I said, they're doing what? So I talked to DPS, and I was like, hey, what grounds did you have for a strip search? He goes, he smelled like marijuana. And I was like, that's not grounds to do a strip search. And he goes, well, the car smelled like it. I said, he's not a vehicle, man. I was like, this is a human being. What made me mad is he had a whole half pound of bag in the back of his ass. He actually had something on it.
There's some junk in your trunk
That's
right
what
there,
made me the
man.
most mad is
Yeah.
they actually found something.
Trooper's like, yeah, told you so. He had it in the trunk.
Yeah, it's like a little junk in his trunk.
Yeah.
See, he is a car. He had junk in his trunk.
Yeah.
Now, AJ, you mentioned you dealt with an inmate once inside, what was it, a pod or tank that you
We
had
didn't
to
deal with this inmate once. It was all the time. It was sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a week. So I was on the extraction team at the jail. Any inmate that's not being compliant with regular staff, the goon squad puts on the suits and goes in there and forcefully removes them from the cell. So this kid was young, dumb, but incredibly brilliant and knew he was going to prison for a long time. So he created these problems just to mess with the goon squad. So this last time, I've probably extracted this guy 9, 10, 12 times up to this point. And I was just at my wit's end with him because I'm getting called at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning to come and get this guy. So this time I was like, I'm not playing around. So I bring my bag of less than lethal munitions, handheld and tossed munitions, is a OC Stinger ball grenade. So it's got 32 millimeter rubber balls in it, and you pull the pin, throw it. First, you get a blast of OC, and then it's a riot control device, but we use it in the cell. It's very effective.
highly effective.
Highly effective. And those and then you get the rubber balls. So it's got 2 fuses. The first fuse is a 1 second delay, and then the OC goes. And then at the 3 second mark, it blows the rest of it, and you get those 32 millimeter rubber balls going all over the place. Well,
That sucks.
this inmate was playing the games, toilet paper on the cell windows, hiding, using the mattress as a barrier, so couldn't see where he was at in the cell. Not going to send my guys into a situation that's unsafe. Don't know if he's got a weapon or anything like that. So because I had it with him up to this point, I decided this is the time where I'm going to use my bag of tricks. So I gave him plenty of warnings, said, get down on the ground, let me see your hands, that kind of thing. And he still refused. So I opened that food pass, pulled that thing, threw it, let it do its job. He inevitably got down on the ground, and we got him out and put him on the restraint bed. So the next morning when I came back in, he was still on the restraint bed. I talked to him, said, so how'd you like that new little trick of mine? And he was like, man, I didn't know you guys had those. That was crazy. said, so what was it like? He was like, well, the first time the OC went and I didn't think it was all that great. So I got up from where I was at and went to pick it up. He said, when he went to pick it up, it blew.
The second fuse went off.
The spoon hit him in the forehead because I could tell while he was laying there on the restraint bed, he had a little bit of an indentation on his forehead and a little bit of blood. I said, hey, where'd that mark come from? He was like, well, I went to pick it up and it blew and the spoon hit me in the head. And he was like, that's when I gave up because I didn't know you guys had those things. That morning, he went to TDC. So he blew up in the cell that night and then got shipped to prison that next morning.
Didn't know he had actually put on there, do not pick up.
Right.
Yeah.
He's trying to read it.
What's this?
Yeah. He's just lucky it wasn't a claymore this side towards the enemy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if someone throws something at you
And then closes it.
yeah, then they close it. They're getting away from it. It does anything at all. Don't go over and pick it up.
Hey, it looks like a dud to me.
I still have my GoPro video of that.
Oh, that'll be
It is a wonderful piece of video.
Oh, okay. Now we've got to hit this story. JP, you mentioned something about flexible inmates.
Oh, okay. So shortly after I started to look in,
Oh, yeah.
he wasn't here yet. I'm working the acceptance window and the phone rings, right? We all have radios where nothing's going on. My sergeant picks up the phone. He's like, I'm on my way. Slams the phone down and just sprints off. We're like, what's going on? He goes, just stay here. We hear running upstairs like, what's going on? Nothing's come over the radio. No officer assistance, no fight, nothing. Right? And right above us is the infirmary. So we hear all the footsteps. People are running. He's gone for about 10 minutes. He comes back and he's like, effing missed it. We're like, what? What are you so worked up about? He goes, he was sucking his own dick in. We're like, hold time out.
again.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, we need some barriers here. What
Apparently, one of the times I was off, we brought this gentleman in who had the ability to give himself fellatio.
Okay.
And as men, that's a profound thing to be able to do. So all of our male rank were watching him. And he would do
Kara's
it.
over there dying listening to this.
I assumed I would leave a bad taste in your mouth.
First of all, that's kind of impressive just to be able to do.
I mean, yeah, on the initial.
yeah. But then you're watching him and you got upset because you missed it.
It's like a car wreck. You can't look
actually,
away
you're-
from.
I think it's more scary. You're turned on by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
It's like the list
So
of
you come here often? Oh yeah.
get home, babe. You never believe what I saw today.
the list of how many things wrong there is with that just is endless.
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. We've got two guests joining us in studio today. We've got former Detention Sergeant Justin Patrick and Deputy Sheriff Andrew Leonard.
Hey, hello.
Now, if you've not checked it out yet, take a look at the website, offbeatcopshow.com. There on the website, you can listen to all episodes, as well as at the top of the page, there is a link there for the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. I'd invite you to click on the link, follow that over there to the page. The foundation set up many years ago, provides monetary support to families of fallen police and firefighters here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It covers 10 counties. So a very, very important cause. Again, I'd invite you guys to make a donation to the foundation. Also on the website, we've got a little microphone icon on there. You can click on that microphone and you can leave us a voicemail message. So if you got a funny story, you want us to use it on the show, click on that icon, tell us who you are, where you're from, and share your story with us. We'll use it on the show. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can also watch the show on YouTube. Give us a like, share, follow, subscribe. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, come share your funny stories with us here in the studio. Then send us an email. It's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Now, JP, you mentioned you had a story about a cabana boy.
Oh yeah, this is hands down my favorite story of my career.
All right, man, hit us with it.
So, I forgot who brought this chick in, but she's just losing her mind. And my two female officers go to do the change her into jail clothes. Well, she's not really wanting to change. They have to call me over, and I'm standing far enough away from the change out. Like, ma'am, just come on. I'm tired of it. Let's go. Finally, after like 10 minutes of just talking her into jail clothes, coming out of the shower out, and he's on duty. AJ's on duty. He's a housing sergeant, and I go to key up. I forgot what she was, some type of watch. I go to key up to let the infirmary know that booking staff is coming up, and she's being irate. Well, as soon as I key up, right, and she's tweaking, she spins around, pulls her pants almost to her knees, and goes, "You want to see my?" And I was like, okay. And this is broadcasted.
Yeah, nice to meet
the
you.
Radio, right? Yep. And as soon as I let go, I hear him key up. I'm on my way.
Because all you could hear was screaming on the radio. All you could hear was screaming on the radio. That was all you heard. So you knew something was going on.
So we get up there, and he hasn't made it to the infirmary yet, but there's an officer that's got the door open to her cell, and she gets to the cell door, and there's about 4 of us because we don't know if she's going to twist off or anything. She gets to the door, and he's got his hand on this door, and she puts her head right up against it dude's hand. He's like, oh. So, and she starts rubbing her body. She's looking at me, and she goes, "You want to be my little cabana boy?" Huh? And she's like pulling her shirt up. She goes, "Come on, just come in my cell. I'll let you do whatever you want to me. You could be my little cabana boy." And I was like, "No, ma'am, I just need to get in the cell." And there's probably about a minute or two of this going on. And Andrew comes walking around the corner, and she looks and points at him and goes, "Do you want to be my little cabana boy?" And he goes, "Nope," turns around and walks out.
Smart move.
As soon as he saw that, he about faced and just audibly shook his head and said, "Nope," and walked out. And
I'm out. It
took us probably another 15, 20 minutes to get her in there. And she just was adamant that I come in there and just do things to her. No, so eventually I just left, and I had to let the females like take care of her and just get her in there. And it was a good 45 minutes of just, yeah.
She thinks she's at the pool?
I ain't going to find out. I can tell you that.
Oh,
that was a lot of meth.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was a lot of woman.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there.
The bad part is we have video of it. Somebody that works at the sheriff's office still has it, and every now and then they'll send it to me.
Oh, no, thanks. I'll pass on the cabana boy opportunity job opening. All right, guys, that's what we got for today's show. JP, AJ, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure having you guys here. Guys, keep it real, keep it funny. Until next time, stay safe and watch each other 6.